All right, so remember when we talked about how the theme is the lesson learned? So we're going to be looking into that a little bit further. We're going to talk about how different ways to find the theme. Okay, so here we're going to get into giving advice based on how the characters treat one another. Think about when you go to the doctor's office. Based on symptoms, doctors give you advice. So if you're sick, you have like a runny nose, maybe a headache, they're going to use those symptoms in order to diagnose you with something. Same thing here. Their advice helps us to learn a lesson about what we should do and should not do when we are trying to stay healthy. So when we're looking at two characters and their relationship with one another, and we see that there's something that comes up that we could give advice for, that could lead us to our theme or the lesson that the author is trying to teach you. Strategy. When characters act in surprising ways, we can give them advice. So if a situation happens in our plot, maybe it's during our rising action, before the climax, and the character is now in shock, we can give them some type of advice. We can tell them how to feel. We can tell them how to think during that time. That advice can help us create ideas for lessons/themes in a text. When a character acts in a way that is surprising to us, we can give that character advice on what we think they should do. Think as you read. What would you... Sorry, this is kind of blocked off for me. Give me a sec. Okay, so what would you tell the character to do? What kind of advice would you give that character? When giving your character advice, you can try using the sentence starter. You should. So it's just like you're giving anyone else advice in your life. If you see someone do something wrong, or if you see something happening to a person and they're looking for advice, you start with, you should probably, or you should, or you could. The advice you give a character could be a lesson/message you take away from the story. So again, this advice that you would give them leads to our theme. So here you are going to read along with chapters 2 and 3 of the story 4th Grade Rats. Remember, a couple of days ago we started chapter 1. And so we're going to do chapters 2 and 3, and then we will continue with the rest of this lesson.